going to be talking about very misinterpreted phrases that is linked to Christianity, and I just want to talk about them and answer very common misconceptions about it. Religions cause wars. And atheists will typically say this to Christian people, and to clear things up, 7% of wars started by religion are mainly Islamic, and if we take Islamic wars out of it, there's only 3% of wars that were actually caused by religion. So get that idea out of here. People do evil with religion. There are a lot of evil people out here, and I don't want to say it's because they don't believe in Jesus, but many evil people in historical times, such as Hitler, Stalin, they were both atheists, and many others were also atheists. So you were born into believing God, or people will say trauma, or like you're brainwashed or something, and it's simply incorrect because so many people come from families that don't believe in Jesus. I had Jesus influence my life a little bit, but it was mainly on my own terms to turn away from secular beliefs. And how do you know which religion is true? Simple answer. Muhammad, dead. Buddha, dead. Jesus died, but he rose again on the third day. There's so many religions out there that worship this God who has died, but there's only one whose tomb is empty. So, I'm gonna go with the one who saved us from sin and cleansed us. Anyway, next. Okay, another comment that I see is science and the Bible contradict each other. I want to talk about how this is very false. They actually do correlate with each other very much. So let's get into it. Genesis 1:3, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Scientifically, this is known as the Big Bang Theory. Pretty neat. And then on the second day, God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. 4 billion years ago, Earth's hydrosphere formed, and what came after it was land. This is scientific. It's correlating with the Bible, and this was 4 billion years ago. Keep in mind, 4 billion. It's really cool. So cool. And then on Genesis 1:11, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees onto the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds. And it was so. 3.5 years ago, bacteria started forming in these marine life biologies and ecosystems, so plants started forming. That's as much science as I was able to get. There isn't specific bacteria that I can name, but bacteria was formed, is like recorded 3.5 billion years ago, and it correlates with the timeline of the Bible, so yeah. And then once you have all these plants and all this vegetation, the air is gonna get cleaner. You're gonna be able to see the stars. So, on the 4th day, God said he separated the day and the night, separated light from darkness, and he saw that it was good. So, a lot of people interpret this as he created the sun and the moon. But the sun and moon were probably already there, we just couldn't see it from Earth. Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds above the earth across the vault of the sky. So he's basically saying, let there be life in the water, then let there be life in the sky. And that marine life life from the waters started first, then they evolved to land. And God did not just drop this bar saying, yeah, there's animals. No, he said, let there be sea creatures, then let there be birds that fly in the sky. So it lines up, it perfectly lines up. And then he made humans 6 to 7 million years ago, which correlates because we are relatively new to being a species. It doesn't talk about how we evolved or anything like that, but we were just essentially made 7 to 6 million years ago. So keep that in mind. I think it's really beautiful once you actually look into it. There's a lot of scientific evidence that goes with the Bible. A lot of archaeologists and scientists are seeing that there is proof that there was a great flood many, many years ago. And if you guys don't know, Noah's Ark, there was a big flood that wiped off all of humanity, except for Noah and his family, of course. So scientists seeing that there was evidence of flooding on the highest parts of like any mountain is very beautiful. And how could you not believe in the Bible after knowing that? Do you have any proof that God is real, that Jesus is real? And I have to say, the spiritual warfare is a thing. There are near-death experiences that they may have where they said they met Jesus or they met people that they didn't know at all in their lifetime, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
He had 2 sisters. Well, he had to say it several times before he finally got my attention. And finally, I put myself down and looked at him and says, what do you mean you have 2 sisters? No, I have 2 sisters. You had a baby die in your tummy. And I just looked at him like, well, how do you know you have 2 sisters? Well, she told me. And then he proceeded to describe her.
She looked like Cassie, but she had brown hair. And first time when she saw me, she just came up and hugged me.
We knew this was true because he said, she kept hugging me. She wouldn't stop hugging me, Mom, and I didn't like that.
Well, I'm not really the hugging type.
I had miscarried the weekend of Father's Day weekend, which made it even rougher. And we thought we'd dealt with it. We got over, we accepted that the baby had died. But when he said he had 2 sisters, I think I was in shock first and then trying to realize, what is he telling me? And so I knew that he had seen her, and after he described her, and he said, she's just waiting for you guys to come.
I saw this on the news. It was on the news. I'm not making this up. But there are lots of similar stories like that. So I think that's all the proof you need, is to just kind of look around you, look at what's spiritual and what's not. The Bible contradicts itself. Okay. A lot of people say the Bible contradicts itself, saying, oh, a woman can't preach. But when Paul was going around writing his letters, he had a woman with him, and a lot of people think this is contradicting. Have some critical thinking. There's context to every single thing in the Bible. The verse that says women should not preach and they should stay silent in the church was not because there were women. Women in that timeline were not given an education, and when they would speak out about things, they would get beat. The men in the churches would beat their wives in front of everybody, and obviously the reason we know about it is because Paul wrote a letter to them saying, hey, this is wrong. And he was saying to the women that don't have any education, hey, like, don't stand in front of people trying to say you know stuff, essentially. And that was the context of that. Obviously, if you are educated and you know what you're talking about, there's nothing against that. It's just important to know the context and have some critical thinking of your own. But yeah. Jesus never said he was God. And that makes you not believe, because not once in the Bible he says he is God, but he says, I am who I am. He does not have to tell everybody that he is God, because if someone came up to you telling you that they are God, are you going to believe them? No, you're not. Jesus went up to people and showed them with actions that he is God. He never said it because he didn't have to. but he used his actions. And I have some verses here. Mark 2:6, Matthew 8:2, John 8:58, Luke 21:33. So, yeah, do some critical thinking of your own. These were all of my main issues or commonly asked questions I've had from atheists. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope this gave you somewhat of a better grasp of what Christianity is and what the Bible is. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye!